see if I can get Caroline.
We are now recording.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this continued meeting of June 28th to order. And before we get started, since it's a continued meeting, I'm going to add an adoption of a resolution that's in your packet. I'll have the town manager explain. And after that, we'll take up the budget and we'll vote to approve and we'll vote to appropriate. Mr. Manager?
As you may know, the town of Blackstone during its enforcement activities has several properties that are kind of incorrigible that the property owners won't cut the grass after we've notified them by certified letter. And upon completion of that legal process, we usually bid out those properties for a private contractor to cut them. This year, the low bidder was Clay's Landscaping. And you can see the bid tab which is attached. His bid was $1,025, and then there were three other bids. The next lowest was $1,495. As a matter of process, because Eric obviously is on town council, and we dealt with this issue, God, how long ago, Eric? Years ago, that when, not Clay's Garden Center, but when Clay's Landscaping, which he's a proprietor, because he's on town council, Tessie has asked us to adopt a resolution, so it's publicly known, and the town council knows what's going on, and they're asking, I'm asking that you adopt said resolution to authorize that grass cutting to begin. And this is, as much as anything, a clarification and notification to them.
Okay.
Pardon?
Do they do good work?
Fair to middling.
I don't know, y'all waited
Fair to middling.
these lots.
So is this voted on, or is, I mean,
Yes.
as
Yeah,
a
voted on
bid?
by council. This is a process Tessie provided to us, gosh, it's probably been
Juneteenth.
7 or 8 years ago at least.
I think that's what I was saying.
You've heard the manager, you've heard the manager's,
You want me to explain for Carolyn?
yes, if you don't mind.
I'm just waiting.
Ms. Williams, I have added the resolution that's in your packet, and I'll have the manager give you a briefing.
Very briefly, the town of Blackstone, in our enforcement of overgrown grass, when it exceeds 10, 12 inches, we sent out a series of letters. I would say the majority of folks have cut the grass, some better than others, but a good number have come into compliance. But those that are not in compliance, every year we get bids to get those yards cut. The low bidder this year was Clay's Landscaping, and his bid was $1,025. The next lowest was $1,495, which is submitted by Sticks and Stones Lawn Care. There were two additional bids that ranged from $1,805 to $1,995. In doing this, we dealt with this several years ago, and Tessie has advised several years ago that whenever Clay's Landscaping, not Clay's Garden Center, but Clay's Landscaping is a low bidder or is going to be awarded any kind of work from the town, or any council person in which they have an ownership of a business or receive a financial benefit from, we need to adopt this resolution. And this was prepared, originally I'm going to say it was 8 years ago, I'm just guessing. But we've prepared this for you so that Eric can get these yards cut throughout town. And we have a list of the yards and all that sort of thing. And this was prepared by Tessie. We just changed, plate landscaping and dates and the plate. Resolution is prepared by our legal counsel.
All right, Mr. Allman has moved to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams, second. Since we,
This is just for the resolution.
this is just for the resolution, I'm gonna ask for a roll call vote because we have a council member involved.
When you say just for the resolution,
Just for the
I'm gonna
bid,
vote for it because it's just for the resolution. That doesn't include the bid though.
okay.
It's under $5,000, so it doesn't require town council
Doesn't-
award
it
of the
doesn't
bid.
require us to
But because it's
award.
Eric, it does require the resolution to be adopted.
what is the purpose of the resolution?
It's just simply to make sure everything's clean.
To
I mean,
make,
how does that make it any cleaner than being on council and bidding on work in town?
I mean, you see the bid, but mine was submitted a day before everyone else's. I mean,
I think Tessie felt at the time, and I can't say that this is necessarily state code mandated. I don't know if it is or not, but Tessie's recommendation was to do a public process, certainly. And it may be compliant with state code, but her recommendation years ago was that we needed to do a resolution so the public was properly notified and there was no sense of impropriety.
But wouldn't the process be to the council to determine the winning bid, in case there was discussion on that before a resolution was?
Since it's below $5,000, by procurement policy, it's typically awarded by staff, under $5,000. We do get bids, but if it's under $5,000 by our procurement policy, we don't necessarily bring it to council. And council is already required, $5,000. The council is required by charter to approve $10,000 more expenditures by our town charter. So you have to approve those. Okay.
But we voted on less than $10,000 the other night.
Flower pots and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff the other night, and that's one of the reasons I was gonna ask you guys to lump them all together if you wanted to, as a consent order vote, if you wanted to vote on one, or you wanted to separate them and vote on. But
We did them separately, I believe, didn't we?
you could have separated and only voted for those that exceeded a certain amount. But in aggregate, they were over.
I see what you're saying then.
But I think from what I remember,
Like the flower pot was not specifically necessary.
Oh, I wasn't specifically talking about Tim, but I'm just saying, it's,
I think from what I remember, if it was over $600, it's considered a conflict. But if it's in the public interest to award the contract, we could. So this is just an extra step saying, hey, this is in the best public interest because he's a low bidder, because he's a low
Most
bid.
responsive bid.
Yeah.
I mean, if it makes,
I was
can you
gonna
not
ask,
just vote?
yeah,
on the bid?
will you withdraw your motion, please?
sure.
Okay, all right, so the motion is lifted from the table now. I would entertain a motion to approve this bid process.
I'll so move.
Mr. Page has moved, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Allman has second. Any
I'm sorry,
discussion?
Are you?
We're actually,
Process or the?
no,
the
we'll
amount
do
of
the
bid?
resolution in a minute.
But is this the amount of the bid or?
This is
the
to award the bid to Clay's Landscaping.
Let me amend the motion then. So I'll motion to award the bid to Clay's Landscaping in the amount of $1,025.
Okay, and there is a second, any discussion? Because we have a council member involved, I'll ask for a roll call vote, starting with Mr. Miller.
This is on the resolution.
No, this is on awarding the bid.
I don't think we can award the bid if we don't accept this resolution. I think the resolution should come first.
But if you don't get the bid, you don't need the resolution.
I think the resolution vote's gonna come after the bid vote.
It is, I'm gonna ask for that.
If it's approved by.
Yeah, if it's
The
approved.
motion is in order, sir.
Nay.
Tried it.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-1, 5-1, 5-1-0,
511,
5-0-1,
511.
5-1-1, sounds like 911. Council, can I get a motion to adopt the resolution that's in your packet concerning Clay's Landscaping? And Mr. Allman moves,
Second.
and Mr. Page second, any discussion?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Because I've never seen this before. This is my 5th year on council. I've never seen it before, so I'm like everybody else. What are you saying about this
I think we're
resolution?
just acknowledging
That he's on
that
council.
he's on council and that the bid process was in order and that we're all aware of it, and it's nothing behind the scenes, behind closed doors.
You haven't seen it, cause we
So
haven't.
somebody doesn't come up to me
Right,
and say.
okay, but my other
you and I
question
are
is, hold up, wait a minute. So are you saying that every one of us on council, if we decide to do business with the town, we gotta sign a resolution?
The council has to approve that resolution.
If it's over $600.
I think it's in the
It's
best
just
interest
making it all
of the
aware.
town, so everybody can be aware of it.
Correct.
Cause we don't want somebody to come in the street and say, why is, Nash getting all the bids,
Correct.
but
It's just making
we
it
got
all
everything in
aware.
front of us. So everything's
telling
open,
y'all.
transparent.
I'm gonna say this. Whatever we doing, we got to be very careful. And I'll
Why we're
leave it at
doing
that.
it. That's why we're doing it.
I'll leave it at that.
This is-
That's all I'm
this is
saying. That's
being
all
careful.
I'm saying. Whatever we do,
okay,
we got to make sure we right. You understand what I'm saying?
yes, sir, I
Now,
do.
does anybody on council disagree about that?
No,
all
I
right.
think that's, all of us won't do it right.
You just got the bid on 511.
Don't make me hot now.
That right, Mo?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Don't do that. Let's get on with the next business.
This is a resolution that our attorney prepared for instances like this for him.
All I'm saying is I want it to be right.
That's why we're doing it.
Because
Mr.
you
Miller.
know we got to be right.
And Attorney
That's
Bacon
why
did
we're
draw up
doing
the
it.
All right,
resolution.
all right.
That's why I
I
wanted to
don't
vote
wanna
on
hear
it.
no back course behind this now.
That's why I
So
wanted
we
to
right.
vote on it
We
and
right.
have the resolution.
All
This
right.
is as right as it gets,
All right.
okay? Is there any discussion?
Are you talking about back calls from us or back calls from the
From
public?
these people out here. I don't worry about us, cause we can handle it out.
Yeah, but we're gonna have everything in black and white
God,
if they have any back calls. That's what I'm understanding. Are you not understanding that?
And Eric, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Well, that's why we're
Right.
doing this, Miller, seriously.
All right.
If we
Case
hadn't
closed.
done it, it would still been a fair bid, but we would knowledgeably be
Kinda doing it behind.
behind what Tessie had already
Exactly.
explained to previous councils.
If
so-
it wasn't the low bid, it wouldn't be in the public's interest to do it.
Would
So
not be in
that's
the
what this
public's interest.
resolution is saying. He's the lowest bid, it's in the best public interest to do it.
And just for the record, even though it was not required, it looks like you turned it in a day before the rest of the bids. So,
Any more discussion, council? I'll ask for, oh, no, I won't voice vote, I'll ask for a voice vote. All those in favor of this resolution indicate by saying aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 5-1-1.
511 again.
I'm gonna play that tonight, all right? All right, so that's behind us, and we're gonna take on the budget. Before we get started, Mr. Manager, I wanna announce that, Councilman Page has said he has a conflict with 3 items. One of them is the DBI budget, the chamber request for donation from the discretionary fund, and the Juneteenth donation. So, once you do your presentation, I will ask for a vote less these 3 items, and after we dispense of that.
And I think you can
motion-
make a motion with those 3 items.
Right, and then we'll make it with those 3, with everything.
All 3
Okay.
of those items, right?
Do you have a presentation before council has
I
any
think
questions?
I've ad nauseum talked about this stuff, so if you have any questions, tax rate stays the same. There is an appreciable electric rate increase,
Anything different from,
nothing different from,
typically the last minute they can change.
I think we're at last minute, and I haven't heard anything different. So, and water and sewer rates 4% increase.
Mr. Miller has a question. Mr. Miller,
Okay, so we doing this here now, right? This
Yes, sir.
budget.
right.
So, and this is after we had the meeting the other night, everything's included, right?
Oh, let me ask one question very quickly. Jackie, the Versa renewal that we signed today for the property and casualty had a $22,000 increase. Did you use that number, or did you use the previous year's number for property and casualty rates? Do you remember? Okay, I'll find out from him, but he had asked me last meeting and I forgot to ask you.
Mr. Miller?
One more thing. You know, we giving out this money, right? We calling it seed money.
What,
But if-
what are you talking about?
I'm saying, when we give out money,
Okay,
we say seed money.
okay, on what,
On any of it.
okay,
Fireworks and Juneteenth.
Right,
okay.
right. So what I'm saying is, if you're saying,
Fireworks ain't seed money though.
huh?
Fireworks
Originally,
ain't seed money.
originally
Fireworks,
it came through as seed money.
Right, it originally came. But here's my thing. How can we say it's seed money when the definition of seed money is just to get you started? So either we gonna say seed money or we gonna say something else.
Is it in here seed money or is it donation?
Right, but when you come and apply for it, it says seed money. So in other words, what I'm doing is I'm coming back repetitious. And it's not,
What the description was when the fireworks first started, whether it was a one-time deal, I don't remember if it was presented as a one-time or as an annual contribution. Ben, do you remember?
I'm sorry. I
Was
didn't
it
hear
supposed to
you.
be a one-time contribution for the fireworks, for example? When you
It
first started?
it wasn't designated as just a one-time, because original cost, we got it at half price at $8,000. Colonel Tom Wilkerson said that was a bargain and suggested that the town take part in it. And then, when you offered the seed money to Juneteenth, I came back and asked for the same amount.
That's right.
And then it just, then we had the second year when we did do it, because the guy set the wrong amount. And we saved that money, rolled it over, and used it for the third year.
It's actually not called a donation in the budget, it's called discretionary.
We're allotted, what, $18,000 we have in the budget, I think.
I don't have the exact line items, but yeah, it's on there.
but all I'm asking is it gonna be seed money or what's it gonna be?
That's gonna be up to your discretion.
It's all subject to annual appropriation. And next year you can say Yes or no, or reduce,
We got $15,000 that this council will have in the budget discretionary to use for whatever you please do.
For next year,
I think
For
his,
this yeah, starting July 1.
starting July 1.
Yes, ma'am.
excuse me, I think his issue is the wording,
Correct.
the definition.
But it all, within the budget though, the wording comes back to our principle and policy, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
But within the budget, it's simply council discretionary. It all boils down to that.
So in the request that we got early, that were
But-
requested by March first, so was it, the 5,000 was asked again at Juneteenth, and how much was asked from,
Yeah, 9 and 5. So
well,
we've
how much
got,
was
14.
asked in their request?
I think 11 for the.
11, yeah, 11.
so we'll have $1,000 at our discretion for the rest of the year. But as you know, we do whatever we please. But this is one of those funds that it's,
It's council discretion.
But you know, along with that, I mean, again, I know I'm repeating, but if the fireworks cost $6,000 and the insurance for that event is $4,400, you're not gonna grow anything from that seed. I mean, what you're gonna grow is business for the town. And part of the reason that I know I got up on here is because I wanted to see the town grow, I wanted to see events, I wanna see more people here, businesses do better and all that. We as a town, in my opinion, as a councilman and a citizen, we either need to stop making it so hard to have events and putting up such a scrap to support them, or we need to start making them happen with our own money.
well, I think that's what Jake's goal is this year, become partnership with whatever groups want to do the fireworks and it become a town / all organizations on board.
That's
I mean,
what,
we shouldn't be surprised if they come back next year and need some money, maybe not as much for fireworks, because we want fireworks again next year, you know? And as a town, we should want that. This is a small town. I mean, everybody loves fireworks. The Eagles is gonna have them right there. I mean, it's
Same
gonna be some
situation
over
with-
at Redfield. They're gonna be everywhere July
Same
1.
situation with the ball fields. Our hopes were to bring people to Blackstone, and hopefully this weekend, when people were in Blackstone, they also went to McDonald's and grabbed a bite to eat real quick. So you recoup your revenue at some point in time. So
The town does.
But
the
the
town does.
only thing I was asking
Not the
is
chamber.
if we reword it.
Yeah,
That's all
'cause-
I'm asking.
And
to read.
maybe in this year's request, we need to make it known, you know, is this an ongoing request, whatever.
Right.
It needs to be clarified at the time of the request.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I'm saying. I don't care who we give it to. I support Blackstone, but I just think we need to clarify it.
and I think the chamber has met with DBI and they're looking to create some type of partnership with the town, DBI and whatever other entities to do something different next year.
I think Mr. Miller is trying to express the fact that because we say seed donation initially, and we do it more than once, that can be something that somebody comes back at us with
Yes.
conflictingly, because seed means a one-time situation. But-
I would like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but when you do it repetitiously, that's no longer a seed.
I think the issue that Miller's really getting at is there, you know, a lot of groups will get up here and ask for seed money, and then maybe they don't realize the next year that they're gonna need it again, or maybe they think maybe they're optimistic and think they won't, so, you know, we start seeing groups that are repeat up here, while still in a, you know, when we started this as seed money and nobody really talks about it, cause to be honest with you, it's awkward to talk about. But, I think that when the next requests come in, it's just something we're gonna have to sit down and really talk about and clarify with each group as they come up. Hey, is this really what you're asking for, or are you asking for a repeat donation? And then we can decide as a council from there on.
And I would next year actually like to see any of these requests, if they're received prior to March, the deadline, I would rather it not be in our council discretionary fund, so that way it doesn't limit us to like, oh man, we've only got $1,000 this year.
Needs to be a line item. I
Needs to be
agree
a line
100%.
item.
Another
If it's
line
not
item.
seed money, let's have a line item, make it more clear.
And I think that's what the whole purpose when we started asking for the request in March. I remember talking about, no, it needs to be in the budget as a line item, but there was a lot of other changes this year, and I just don't, you know, we're just not quite there yet.
Because technically, we have more requests than we have, because you have the other requests too, not just Juneteenth, but the other requests.
Suck or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Mr. Miller, you good with that?
I'm good.
I would like to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to see it because the young lady said, was it last night or Monday?
Monday.
Days are going so long. That, I would like to see the organization that come up and ask for money, seed money, line money, however we want to term it, that they are doing some kind of effort to do fundraisers. So we might not have to do the whole 5, we can do 2,500. You know, show us some effort, or just let us know, are you doing anything? What can we do to help you to do a fundraiser?
That's right.
And we,
Good idea.
and we're giving out those large sums, we probably need some sort of, well, I'm not saying some sort of forensic audit on something, but we probably need to have eyes on, when we're giving out taxpayer money, we probably need to start paying attention.
You
and
beat me
at least
to it.
asking for
I think,
receipts.
I think y'all are entitled to a report, a financial
Yes,
report,
yes.
and said,
I
you know,
agree with
this,
the receipts.
this is what we did with the citizens' money.
And with that, I mean, to that point, July 1st is Saturday, right? Fireworks is gonna happen. I don't think, I mean, I'm doubting Debbie's got the money yet. She gotta pay for the fireworks, she's gonna have to pay for the insurance, all that up front before she gets the money we've agreed to support with.
I think that,
How does that flow? You
I
know what
think
mean?
that was already passed, cause that goes under this year's budget. This new budget is for next fireworks show.
That's a great question.
Because she's stuck with
Yeah, we already
How-
approved that.
hanging overhead.
Has she provided an invoice? Because we pay by invoice.
But I will tell you, the chamber's raised over $2,000 for this fireworks show.
Yeah, so to answer your question, we need an invoice and we'll pay it.
Okay.
May I make one other statement from past experience? What we did, because we always came up before fireworks and all of that, for money for the Christmas parade to help pay for the bands. We started giving, Jennifer Hardy an itemized list of what the bands were, how much money was done, and we were returning the leftovers.
That's great.
So,
Yeah, that's another good clause too, I think we should have, is that, you know, if the town donates a certain amount of money and no one else does, we're the only one that donates, then I think that
We need
the
to see
town should get the
receipts.
money back that's left over.
And it's a little easier when we do donations for things like fireworks, because that's a set item. You know, you can get a receipt for fireworks and insurance. When we start giving lump sums for multiple things at one time, say, we're just gonna give you $2,000 towards your organization, it's easier, you know, it gets a little more muddy there. Cause,
Right.
well, we spent it on this, this, and this, and there's no more money left. Rather than having just one item paid for.
You almost want a
Mr. Hawks?
cost justification
Go
when
ahead,
they
sir.
come up.
Yeah.
Mainly, council and mayor, citizens want accountability.
Yeah, I do too.
In other words, we have been sitting here and organizations come and ask for money, but, we don't know exactly how it's gonna be spent.
I was gonna raise that point, if we're gonna donate, if y'all are gonna donate, okay, then we should know what you're donating. If you're donating something frivolous, then I wouldn't recommend council do that. But if it's, you're gonna donate transportation for a World Series in Louisiana, then that makes sense. But if they're all gonna get monogram hats and T-shirts and stuff, and town pays for that,
I believe
So I don't
in this
think that-
past month's bills, we actually had some expenditures directly to the vendors of Juneteenth or whoever they be. So I believe that's how Juneteenth is doing it, I think.
yes, I think,
Yeah,
yes.
so it's
yes.
not actually going to them.
So we've been paying vendors, not paying
Right.
the committee. So that's, I thought that was outstanding.
But
I don't know who came up with that, but it's brilliant.
And if you wanna know for the chamber for the fireworks, town donated 9,000. 6,000 is going to the fireworks themselves. And, the insurance is 4,600, so 3,000 of that's going towards the insurance. So the
Well,
chamber.
going forward, I think that's super, Mr. Page. Going forward, I think the finance committee should have that in advance.
Right.
And then we have it in our packet, and
It's
then
actually
we know.
in the form that they have to have by March, it's in this,
Okay,
specifies
awesome,
it
awesome.
already.
Been a while since I've been on finance
Yeah.
committee.
We just need
Well,
to make
this
sure
is
we
a new
get
thing, too.
those.
Sir?
This was new as well.
Okay.
We just started doing the
Okay.
forms this
Yeah.
past year.
So it could be like a PO for each event, following the model of Juneteenth with what you said.
Juneteenth actually does individual invoices for a banner or for.
Whatever they
whatever
spend,
it
they
is.
have,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, that would be beneficial to across the board, I think.
what I'm saying, they do
Have a whole lot more
individual.
accountability
Yeah,
and know
They
every-
what-
spend
individual group-
$25 here, they got a voucher for it.
Yeah, my understanding is we didn't put any money into the committee. We paid vendors, invoices from vendors. And that's clean, that's brilliant. I don't know who
And that
came up with it.
and that donation we did to Juneteenth as well includes employees that had to work, trash pickup, whatever it be. So it's not just cash donations.
Right.
Only had one trash man,
Okay.
one employee, one town employee.
I don't think the employees. That wasn't factored.
We didn't do any, we didn't charge them in kind, I think we just,
We've been eating overtime, like the Juneteenth at the top, so
Right.
that's not reduced from their 5,000.
any other discussion, on that issue? Is there any other questions or anything anybody wants to discuss about the budget before we call for a vote? Mr. Gorman? You have any other?
No, I have nothing.
Okay. We good, Finance Committee, y'all ready? All right, so I'm gonna ask council, I'd like a, motion to approve the budget that was advertised, minus the DBI budget, minus the chamber request from discretionary fund, and minus the Juneteenth donation. Is there such a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget as presented in the amount of $22,566,255 minus those
DBI
line
budget,
items,
chamber
DBI,
request,
chamber,
and Juneteenth.
and Juneteenth.
Is there a second to,
So move.
and Mr. Miller, second, any discussion? I'll ask for a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Miller.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7-0. Council, I would ask for a motion now to approve the entire budget for 22,256,255.
No,
No.
we need to make a motion to approve those other line
Those three items.
Those three items first, yes.
And I'll move that.
Well,
So
thank you.
move.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me
So
because I'm
moved.
in,
you.
different territory. So the motion is to approve the three items excluded. Is that correct?
Yes.
That works.
And we have a motion from whom?
Myself.
And I second.
Mr. Nash and Mr.
Excuse me.
Miller. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0-1. No,
That-
6-0-1.
That abstention due to personal interest.
Okay,
Now you need to appropriate the budget.
trying to get there.
Move to appropriate the budget as of July 1 to start expending from it.
Minus the three items.
So move.
Minus the three items.
So move.
And we have Mr. Nash and Mr. Miller again. Any discussion about appropriating the budget minus the three items mentioned?
The DBI, Juneteenth, and chamber.
Chamber.
Yep.
Hearing no discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Miller.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 7-0. Council, I'd ask for a motion now to approve the three items previously excluded, which is the DBI budget, the chamber request from discretionary fund, and the Juneteenth donation. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Mr. Miller moves.
To appropriate.
To appropriate.
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 Second.
And Mr. Nash, second. Is there any discussion on these items excluded? Hearing none, I'll ask for a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0-1. Did I get it right?
Got it.
Okay, I'm alphabet soup here. Any other business to come before the council? Hearing none, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting at 7:33.
Can't believe it.
Yes,